Hi, this is Robert Pelletier, the President and CEO of Pacific Hardwood. Today I want to take you through how the Coastal Collection is put together. Everything starts here in our 3.5-acre facility located in Orange, California. Everything we make is made here in the United States, exactly to your specifications. And the beauty of the Coastal Collection is you can have the same quality that we put into our custom products in pre-finished flooring made in just 2 to 3 weeks. Out here, you see our lumber yard. When we receive loads of lumber in, we check every single piece, stick by stick. So here you'll see one of our associates looking at some beautiful wide white oak. We're checking both sides. We're looking for the quality of the material. We're looking for the grade of the material, the grain pattern, and the color. And that will be sorted accordingly so that when you buy from us, you know you're getting exactly what you need. Over in these large storage areas here, you'll see all of our exterior grade Baltic birch, which is brought in on a monthly basis and is of the highest quality, and it's CPC grade. Over here, you'll see our abundant supply of raw material stock. We sit on about $3 million worth of lumber inventory at any point in time. Many of it is plain sawn white oak, rift and quartered white oak, rift sawn white oak, walnut, and maple. Out here, you'll see some of our pre-finished prep, where we do our wire brushing and we do our texturing and preparation to have stain put on the materials. So for the Coastal Collection's 8 exclusive colors, it'll all start out there for the prep work once the flooring is made inside the factory. This is the original part of the business. The business has been around since the 80s. We're in our rough mill outside. These are our associates finishing the knot fill process. So we'll fill the knots out here and they'll be sanded inside so that they're perfectly flat and there's no chance of overwood. In our rough mill, we also make matching stair parts, treads, risers, nosings, and accessories out of the same lumber. So you don't run into the issue that you'll see with foreign competition where the flooring is made in one country and the stair parts are made in another from 2 completely different lots of wood. So you get a different looking staircase than you do the flooring. Everything we do here is fully vertically integrated from the unfinished part to the pre-finished part. Here you'll see our millwrights ripping and surfacing the lumber. So that's being ripped to 8 3/8 inch to make an 8-inch floor. We actually use the waste product that you see there. My children have a business called Smoke and Slice. You can check that out on smokeandslice.com or visit them on Instagram at Smoke and Slice. Those are wood blocks for pizza ovens and wood smokers. So now we'll take you into the heartbeat of the operation, which is our engineered flooring factory. Built in 2006 and continually upgraded, the engineered flooring factory is a state-of-the-art facility where we manufacture between 3 and 4 million square feet of custom products annually for our customers. You'll see nothing was prepped here for this video. You'll see it's a very clean environment. We believe in following the Japanese automotive technologies and lean manufacturing to make sure that quality is always paramount and safety is first and foremost. The lumber here is now being pre-defected, so there's an optical cutting saw here. It'll look for certain knots, splits, or anything that may not make the grade, and we'll cut that out before we glue it onto the plywood to minimize our waste. Once the lumber is prepped, it'll come over here to our slicing station. So in this area, we have a state-of-the-art twin head bandsaw that also has an automated robot. So you'll see this robot here picking up and placing the material to be put into the saw. And over here are the saw blades that are in there. They're only 1.3 millimeters thick, so we're able to maximize the yield of our wood, which keeps your costs under control. Once the veneers are sliced, they'll go through a calibration process on both sides so that they're perfectly smooth. We want to make sure we have a delamination-free product, and we want to make sure that all of your product is free of overwood. So there you'll see a 6 millimeter wear layer that's come out of there. That looks to be about 8 inches wide, and that would be a plain sawn select grade white oak. With the Coastal Collection, you have lots of different options. You have a rustic white oak, you have a select white oak, and you have a rift sawn white oak as well. Again, we're constantly investing in automation. This robot here has been in place for about 3 months now. There's another robot that we put in place about a month before that. We're constantly trying to figure out how we can continue to expand and keep up with capacity, and also make sure that we keep our costs in line so that you, our customer, receives the best possible value from a made in the United States product. So now that we have all the veneers and wear layers sliced, you'll see some beautiful 10-inch wide rift white oak there actually. We're going to head over to the pressing process in a moment. Now with the Coastal Collection, we will stock tens of thousands of square feet of unfinished flooring, and then you pick one of these 8 colors and we send it down our pre-finishing line, which we'll show you in a little bit, and that will be done in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. So this is a quick ship program that's ready to go. Here's our exterior grade Baltic birch. it's being ripped through our rip saw, and it goes through a very automated process after that. So we're going to be putting a tongue and groove on every piece of plywood, because we do make up to 12-foot long boards in all of our products, including the Coastal Collection, and we don't want to have just a weak butt joint like you see with a lot of our competitors. So there'll be a very strong joint there. There's an automated glue machine that's putting glue into the groove side of the plywood, and then the plywood will be sent in a continuous sheet up the press line. I just passed a blue saw back there. Our computerized system will tell it how long of a plank we're making. We're making 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12-foot long pieces of material. So it'll tell it what to cut. And then over here, it's a little difficult to see because we have our humidification curtain up, but there's a robotic gantry in there. Here we have our press operator feeding veneers into the pressing system. And this robotic gantry system will pick up the veneers. It looks like he's making an 8-inch wide product, so it'll pick up 3 of these, and then it will transfer it over, and we'll see in a moment that the glue will be applied to the plywood, and the gantry will transfer the veneers over and set it on top of the plywood where the glue is. So you see the gantry moving now. We're actually making a 7-inch product, so there's 4 of them. The plywood is getting indexed. It was just inside an infrared chamber that's keeping the surface temperature at a precise temperature to make sure that the glue application goes exactly as we want it to. We really believe in a delamination-free product, and I'll talk about that in our press in just a moment. So now as the plywood comes through the roll coater, saw the black that was on there now. That is our polyurethane resin glue, and that panel is headed over into the press. And we press a panel every 48 to 51 seconds. So all day, every day, you just see these robots moving back and forth while our press operators are running the show here. So we're able to run this entire press line with 2 people now as a result of our consistent investment in technology and automation. Here you'll see our press. So unlike most companies that use a roller press where it's only under pressure for a fraction of a second, we're putting these panels under 4,000 PSI of pressure for 30 seconds. So you can rest assured you're not going to have delamination. You see another one of these robots here that's picking the panel off of the press line and stacking them. So the panel that just went in there will be there for 30 seconds. The robots just picked it up, and it's transferring over and setting it down on a stack. And here comes the next one out already. So that panel has been pressed, which means the veneer and the glue and the plywood are permanently bonded. The next step in the process over here will be the milling process for the unfinished wood. So here we're taking a panel. This is some 8-inch white oak. It's going to go through a calibration sander to make sure that there's absolutely no overwood in any of the product. So you'll see these panels going through. This is a scoring saw. We can put backouts in the flooring. We don't generally do that anymore, but there are customers who request that, particularly in the Northeast, and we're happy to do that for you. Now that panel is going to head into a rip saw, so it's going to rip that panel where you see the 3 veneers on it into 3 individual planks. So it'll start to really look like flooring here in a minute as it goes through this yellow machine. So out it comes. Now we're going to have 3 plank, and that's going to transfer down to our molder. Before it goes in the molder, we'll print the date and time of manufacture, and we'll print either our name and made in the USA. If you're a consistent customer of ours, we're happy to print your name on the bottom of it. We do private labeling for several large companies. You'll see that go into a molder. Inside the molder, we're putting the tongue and groove on the sides of the boards. We're also adding a bevel if needed. And for unfinished product, we do some wire brushing as well. Although for the pre-finished Coastal Collection, that'll be done on a more intricate finishing sander outside. So now you can see we have a flooring plank. The only thing left to do is final grading and end match. So you'll see our master grader here. He's looking at the entire board. He's got a fluorescent crayon marker. If he sees anything that's not going to meet grade, as he just did see at the end of the board there was a split, he'll mark that with that fluorescent crayon. This end match machine will read that crayon. It will then automatically defect, meaning cut out anything that's not supposed to be there. And then the tooling, which will be difficult to see through the machine, but you'll see it come forward and back, is going to put the tongue and groove on the ends of the boards as well as any end bevels. After that, the planks will transfer through this automated material handling system. So you'll see the planks transferring up and over. So they're headed over towards our final QC check and pack out. Every single plank is hand selected and looked at afterwards. So we're looking for any defects that may have happened. Generally, we don't find any here. Sometimes we get a little nick in a corner, which is called blowout. It's just the nature of cutting across the grain of the wood. If we see that, we'll just send it through the end match machine again, but you'll see every piece is looked at. So you can know that you're not just buying a cookie cutter commodity. You're really buying a custom handcrafted product that's blending tradition and technology. After that, the bundles go through the wrapping machine. So you'll see that we have wrapped them. We've stacked them. They're in nested bundles that are 2 to 12 foot long. So we have a very long length product. Out here, you'll see our finishing line. So now we're taking the unfinished product and we're putting one of the 8 Coastal Collection colors on it. So this has been prepped outside, as I discussed earlier. It's been wire brushed, it's been finish sanded, and now it's coming through our UV roll coat line. So we're using UV oils. There's 3 roll coaters, there's 3 UV ovens, there's buffing pads and different techniques that we use in the middle for consistency. And then we have a proprietary UV top coat. So we do a lot of commercial work. We've done all the Nike, Tommy Bahama, Victoria's Secret, Nordstrom stores. We're touring the Breitling stores right now. And that same top coat that doesn't have that cheap plasticky look to it, but a lot of depth to it, will be put on your Coastal Collection colors. So email us today at info@pacifichardwood.com. Call us at 714-998-6446. Visit us on Instagram at Pacific Hardwood. And again, the Coastal Collection is a quick ship program where you can get the same quality products in as little as 2 to 3 weeks pre-finished.